equality, and if it's not equality, I don't understand. Hold on, man. Tell us something. Hold on, I'm not talking to you, I know, man. Move, go ahead. Let go. Anyways, the U.S. military, I happens to serve staff sergeant, or say the thing. Females jump up. Oh, we want to be equal. When we design what we call the Army physical fitness test around female, you know who's that feel? Female. When we say women must do the very same thing that men do because they want equality, guess what they start doing? Freaking failing. Guess what they ask us to do now? To readjust, to make it female and make it male. So the female is going to go back to being female and the male is going to continue to be male. The thing is, you can't have it both ways. It's either you're equal. I don't believe in equality, none at all. And no matter who you are, male, female, black, white, Chinese, doesn't matter. I believe in equity, fairness. If you can live 100 pounds, you must live 100 pounds. And if I can live 200 pounds, I must live 200 pounds. I don't believe you should be equal to me. I can live 300 pounds, you should believe. No, that's not what it is. It's called equity, fairness. You should do according to your ability, not according to my ability, not according to me. I do not care about your emotions. You want to be equal. If you want to be equal,
you're just babbling. You're basically saying the same thing I just said.
No, I am not saying the same thing you're saying. You want equality, I want equity. Two total different things.
Opportunity, me say.
You cannot get the same opportunity as I. And the reason why you can't,
me can lift up 300 pounds.
But let me ask you a question.
Exactly, me need the opportunity to do it. But if you don't see me and say, oh, you move man, you can't lift up 300 pounds. Oh, me I gonna have my chance.
I agree with Abiola from that perspective. She needed an opportunity. Alright. With all that being said, no. IBM, at what age the prefrontal cortex develop for a man? Fully developed.
Never look. I never tell no human being that I'm a biologist, and I have never said that.
If you don't know, you don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
Never say me no.
Alright. Do you know it for a woman, about a woman? At what age for the woman?
If you don't know for man, you don't know for human.
Why do you think if me don't know for man, I'm your man. Why do you think we got to take interest in the woman? Why?
No man. We're not doing all of that. We just have a simple question and then we can So the thing is now, when it comes to a man, why I say a woman is more logical. For a woman prefrontal cortex develop at the age of 24. For the male develop at the age of 25. Right? So we all know that the prefrontal cortex has to do with logic, reasoning, rationality, and all of these good stuff. So if you have twins, which is boy and a girl, at the same age, the girl, based on study and research, it shows that the girl have a higher chance to be more logically and rationally before the boy.
Believe that still. And let me tell you why I don't believe I'm a
woman. I can do your research, you know. You can go do your research.
Hold on. That is nothing that I'm going to research. And let me tell you why I am arrogantly going to decline that. I know from the inception of civilization, men are the builders, men are the protectors, men go hunt, and men are the ones who discover everything. So I am not saying at what age, who develop what. I know that men are way more logical. It was men who decided that God should be worshipped. It was men who decided that water should be stored. It was men who decided that agriculture should be a thing. It was men who decided that they can live inside of the cave and move out and go build one hut. This was all a man's perspective on this thing. So who was more logical first? To me, it is kind of immaterial. The fact is the foundation was laid by men.
But even at the end of the day, you know, the same logic he run off.
So you guys gonna disprove all of it?
They can't. He just don't care.
Tell me yourself with the question.
They ignore the question all the time, you know. That's what I'm doing.
You see.
So WTF, do you wanna come in and say something?
Tupac, you're correct with what the information I put out. But at the end of the day, it's still run off for hormones. Because hormone have to release.
That's why I use it at a boy, a twin boy and a twin girl. The two of them born at the same time. Me never not thought nothing before and after. We just use an example for a twin sibling.
So,
This girl gonna be more.
So how do you argue men being the pioneer and developer of everything around you? How do you
I don't agree with that statement. I do not agree with that statement that man develop everything around me. I don't agree with that
Alright, so
statement.
who pioneered agriculture on the bank of the Nile Valley? Was it a male or a female?
It can be proven that man does it, but that doesn't mean that man does everything.
Who developed and pioneered the building of house, what we call dwellings today?
It can be proven, but guess what? That woman, that male does it. But that doesn't mean, again, like I said, male does everything.
Right. So man do it. So look here, man do what is vital and important. So men are more logical.
In Kuma, may I ask that question? You respect teachers?
Ask him, Patrick.
Great teacher. Look, not just respect teacher, I respect every great teacher.
All right then. So do you know so woman teachers, they teach engineer, they teach electrician, they teach all those things. So what about the women that teach those things?
No point did I say that I have no respect for one gender over the other.
Yeah, but they contribute to building up. They teach those, they train those, and they teach man
I'm
how to be
talking
an electrician,
about the
engineer.
pioneers. The pioneers, my friend, the pioneers.
So is anybody else want to say something or what? Or we're gonna just this man named WTF, I've been calling him up and him not saying nothing. Do you wanna come in, WTF? You're up to video. Alright. We don't really do them something not too much. Yeah, so yeah man, continue the thing, Rasa.
All in all, me not think any sensible somebody would never stand and deny the greater contribution of men in building up the society. You understand, in terms of them physical prowess and them active work within the physical structure and overseeing the development of these, right? But there are things that are unseen and is impossible to know, and this is the inception of an idea and where the influence came from, right? These things I can never say it came from a man or it came from a woman. I just know individuals in general have great ideas, and in the past these brilliant ideas from women could not be represented by them due to the societal restrictions for these things. And so because of that, me can't somebody say man more logical or them more creative or them this and them that because women were forbidden from being the face of any of these brilliant ideas. Come now, in this 2024 era now, if you have an idea, woman free to go out there and put works on it and make it become great or whatever the case may be. However, after it's all said and done, you're going to hear say, oh man, Billy World.
There's some things you said and I'm going to agree with. Once upon a time, women were suppressed with their grand ideas. That is true. To say we don't know where they come from, some of these ideas, how they came about, again, might be true. Take that with a grain of salt. One thing for sure, and this we can, and I will not ignore. Women are great nurturers and meant to nurture. And that is something that we should not take from them. Anything else that we are putting on women or putting women into is a travesty. It has proven. We have seen it. So women should continue to nurture and continue to nurture. Just continue to nurture.
Do you believe women need nurturing in their adult stage? I mean,
They do.
when
I
they are
cannot
young,
speak.
when they are young,
What
their
is it?
mothers
Okay, me
raise
call
them,
her.
and when they are
But you have to be fair.
adult,
Yeah, but you have to be fair to me. I'm a male. I don't know. There's things that I can't know.
I think you are being biased, you know.
I am asking you though, if you believe women need a nurture within their adult life. Let's say she's an adult now and she go into a relationship and she have picnic for you. Does she, as the adult woman, need nurturing?
I would say that. Of course, she's a human being.
Who is responsible for give her that?
And I hope this is not a trick question. I'm
It's
just
not.
going to say this is
I'm not.
Answer it.
short your ass, but you're not talk to you. Yeah, woman?
Answer it. Answer the question. You blow up.
So you hear me now.
Check mark.
Yeah. Hear me now.
Check mark.
If it is not a trick question, I am going to say it is on her partner to make sure that the environment of nurturing exists. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay. And so when you say that the greatest power that a woman has is nurturing, you have to be careful when you say certain things like that, you know, because
That is
even though
ambiguous.
even though we understand that for a period of time, the mothers most definitely are the prime caregivers and nurturers of children. At the end of the day, every individual needs nurturing. And so men cannot become grown adults without the ability and the skill set to do this.
Look, my brother called me to disrupt the answer to your question. So I'm saying, in all fairness, I am going to say that relationship should also entail the woman being nurtured by her partner. That's what I said. And that's what I mean. No, I'm not going to say she doesn't need nurturing.
I agree with Imbula on this one. I'm gonna tell you why.
I didn't hear. You didn't hear what you agree with. I never hear what you agree with. I disagree with it.
Jesse, I cherry picking at Jesse. I cherry pick Jesse.
Tell me, hold on.
You're a cherry pick going on.
Tell me what particular you're in with. Yes.
I'm gonna tell you what I agree with, right? Because at one point you have like even tribes in Africa where women, they are hunters and they are warriors and all of these stuff. But you see, you know, we live in a society where them not really give women like an equal chance. But if you put them to the test, probably they can do great things too. You understand? I remember, you know, they mentioned about the brain that deal with logics, and them said the woman part much more bigger and so forth, which I did look up that already and the factual. But remember, we come from a woman too, so probably that's why we can reason with certain logic, but probably they're more logical than us. You understand? And if like, because you give a good example to pertaining to nature, we have nature inside. We have the nature inside in us too.
No, we are talking.
We have estrogen. We're made up of women hormone and male hormone, and the female made up of male hormone and women hormone too. But just that we have less estrogen and them have less testosterone. You understand? So me understand what she's saying, and she have a good point.
So Patrick, I want you call in WTF.
Did you also know that elevated levels of testosterone may block or blur logic in men?
Yes, and that's the reason I said logic. If which hormone it run off on estrogen.
Yeah, call up WTF, because you know box and we not hear nothing from him, man.
Oh, yeah, but WTS, you turn on your mic and start to interact.
Yeah, man, come in and interact, Rasta. 2 times put you up, you know.
I'm not even getting the opportunity to interject.
At time, let's
up here and I'll just ignore me.
And they kick you out sometimes. I will kick you out.
Somebody kick me out. I should kick them back out too.
Yeah. You never know sometimes, you know.
Right now, Patrick the pan up in or up in the pan, Patrick.
See how you don't even. You see what you don't like when nobody disagree with you, you know. But me have to agree with him on this one. Adults, people are nurtured to be functioning adults, and adults does not have the luxury of being nurtured. Like, for example, if a woman no longer have her parents and she never find a partner, she better find a way to take care of herself. So that's why we raise our children to be functional adults. So I think adults need nurturing still.
Right, which is why it puzzles me for why this great stress. Well, oh, women are the great nurturers. Then she go they breed all the days of her life. You understand what I mean? So at what point the nurturing?
When I said women are nurturer, don't get me wrong. Nurture your pick me. And that you're gonna nurture. Me now come look for breast milk or none of that type of foolishness.
Yeah,
I'm interested in that.
Yeah, but
I think you're missing the point. The point she's making when her her birthing years are complete and these children are grown, then we might as well just toss her to the side.
Not true.
She no longer have any purpose.
It's gas me and light me.
Oh man. No man.
That's what she's trying to get from you though.
No.
Because that's their real function.
Hold on, man. When me get old too, and my teeth them drop out and I'm one of my eye blind and I can't see. I'm Alzheimer's a check-in. We don't want somebody to laugh and chat about the good things that me used to do and remind me. So the few last days of my life, I live them out in a dignity.
Oh,
and
I should remember about the 2 times when she breed for you.
Yeah, they won't be doing that. They're gonna take you and toss you to the corner of your own house.
Not me.
In a room at the back.
No human being will get that privilege. That privilege will never be given to another human being.
Remember, your teeth and drop out, and your foot can't work. You don't have no option.
I think
when we have the 22, my 22 we always in my lap in my wheelchair.
Brother, your index finger them stiff with arthritis. You don't have no choice.
Exactly.
The room at the back of the house in the corner is where you're gonna end up.
No.
So Timeless, let me ask Timeless a question. Timeless, who do you think is more logical?
To be honest, there is no study that suggests any of the sexes is more logical than the other. There's nothing that
So the study that they came out with said women are more logical based on their prefrontal cortex. You say you're gonna debunk that study?
I mean, I can go and find an equal study that debunk all that.
Which one?
I can just go on the internet and look. All studies are biased.
To be honest, the only study where we can really, substantiate is the one that says the woman's frontal lobe is larger than the man's frontal lobe, which means she processes far greater emotional stimuli than men do. That's the only one where we can say for sure.
And to tell you that, we know that the man's brain is also overall larger than the woman's brain.
Right.
So we can't use that, right? Like you can go to any study. This is the thing. Studies are often done by research, right? They did not do nothing. They do research from other people's studies, and what they do is pick out the parts of the research that support their narrative. That's how these things are done. But you can go to the same study and pick out the parts of that same study that actually support your narrative. Just like in the 70s or 60s, they did a study. There were studies done on smoking cigarettes, right? And there's people that came out with all the negative impacts that cigarettes have on you. And the cigarette companies go to the same study and pick out all the positive impacts smoking have on you and run that as a marketing campaign and make cigarette a thing. So for every study, studies are very biased. It is based on who finance it and who
Extremely
is
biased.
extremely biased. It's the most biased thing you can ever come across is a study. Whoever finance it pay for you to come up with results in their favor. And you must now go and look at the exact opposite to that study. And then you study both of them, read both of them, research both of them, and you can come up with a conclusion. All studies are biased, 100%.
Yes, it's biased to a degree.
No, not to a degree.
It biased not
100%.
90 degree? Is it 90 degree, 45 degree, 180 degree, or 360 degree? Tell me what degree.
It's biased by 100%. Studies
And
are
then,
paid
and
for.
then the next thing is
Yeah.
because studies
Okay,
cannot
yeah.
embody everybody in the world, it is only done on a subset of people. And
You guys can't hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
It's biased to the point where a study is done by a particular group that 100% finance that study, and it's done to benefit their stand every time. They're not paying 100 million on a study to benefit the opposing side.
Like they have a main idea and then conduct a study for prove or disprove their main idea, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. And you can have your idea and your study prove exactly what you're saying is true, and you're both
So
doing
you're
the same
saying
study.
the biologist and the researcher will tell me some me not go study human brain. Then wrong, I heard the two in the group, Tupac and them counterparts, will tell me, oh, you never study woman brain and man brain. So you said them wrong? Are you telling me
Oh
now?
no, we can come to a conclusion when multiple different researches show this similar
So me wrong or never. So should I still go study?
Yeah, you can.
No,
You should. I
IBM.
think you should.
IBM.
No,
this
no,
is
it's the point,
information.
you know, IBM.
This
When
is
you talk about
information
brain
where you
size
can be beneficial to, you know.
When you come in,
Tupac, why is it Tupac? Let me hear.
Yes.
Tell me
So
what you're
these
saying.
are information that you can also be benefited from when it comes to
Not me.
learn.
Let me tell you why me not gonna benefit from that. Hold on up. Let me tell you why hold on, man. I cannot benefit from that. If the woman brain bigger, me no care. If the man brain bigger, me no care. If the man more logical, me no care. And if the woman more logical, me no care. Me not study that. Let me tell you what me I study. Me I study the things that is going to make me a more humane person. The things that is going to make me a little bit more adequate. That's what I'm going to invest in.
Human is a very good word. I think you should invest in that one.
Right. So
Yeah. So who have the bigger brain don't matter to me one bit.
let me you believe you agree with marketing, right?
Oh, I read Sigmund Freud, nephew, whole propaganda for marketing. And marketing, marketing was one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. So I am not part of the consumer culture, and I despise the consumer culture. I love the consumer culture. I mean, I like it and I'm not interested in it.
So you don't believe in the buy and sell business. You believe in a bartering system.
I'm not in a buy and sell nor barter and sell. Let me tell you what I'm interested in. This is something that is going to make me more human. I buy and I sell, but it's not a culture that I'm going to promote. If you understand what I mean. I am not a person who wants to profiteer from somebody else's vulnerability.
So you're not dealing with capitalism. You know, like so the idea of capitalism. You're not agree with it.
Well, no. Capitalism is
But that is the invention of men, right? You have to work with it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but capitalism is
Capitalism
is that you don't have to believe in it. It's what's operating, and it's actually a destructive thing.
When I say believe in it, I mean that you hold it to be something that you would
very
work.
destructive.
Yes, man. Capitalism, courtesy of men.
It's destructive, though. Capitalism to work.
Tupac, let me explain
Capitalism
capitalism.
to work, right? For capitalism to work, do you know you have to subjugate people?
Of course, and for capitalism to work, you have to smear your conscience. You have to void yourself of a conscience. And like a lot of people who argue capitalism versus communism versus socialism, they do not participate in or benefit from capitalism. And let me tell you why. Capitalism is for people with capital. Capitalism is not for people who is going to hustle or work or have to grind. When you look at Jeff Bezos, that who own like about what, 28% of Amazon and own a $65 million yacht, that is what capitalism is. And the workers at the bottom are being paid.
28%. The man only own 9%, brother.
9. Whoa, holy shit, that I gave him too much. So check this out. And him have a $65 million yacht. And the workers and the people who drive for Amazon are being paid the minimum wage. Tell me what part of that thing you don't puke when you see.
Yeah, and his 9% give him 200 billion in the bank too.
No, men build the society.
Right. So tell me what part of that don't make you puke.
Me say, even you hear me say, this men build the society and how it must function.
Agree. And that is one of the reasons. Hold on. That is one of the reasons. So in Beulah, do you know that for the capitalist society to function, the feminist movement actually have to play its role?
Oh yes, all the movements play their role.
Oh, but not only that, the feminist movement, because most people here still to talk about the feminist movement and no, don't know when it started. It's actually coming from the 1800s and was not, like what Patrick's saying, it was perpetrated by any female. This was men that did this.
Oh yes.
Also, men are behind this movement.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not.
Timeless. You look it up, it was when the Kennedy something started.
Nothing about
Timeless. Didn't they do this to create more households?
But bro, these were people that they used to market it. There were some two ladies in their 50s.
In Timeless, didn't they do this to create more households? Like more families, more purchasing power, more all of this stuff.
More wealth.
Okay, so courtesy of men, they've designed the society in such a way. Everybody there underneath their thumb, massa.
Yeah, more wealth, right?
Eleanor Roosevelt.
Do you know when they came out with income tax? I think in Canada it was somewhere in the 70s, right? Do you know how much more tax they can now collect from a 2-income home versus 1? They did it even the fact they came out with income tax in Canada. It was supposed to be temporary. It was so successful that the government said there is no way we can get rid of this idea.
Money I make. Money I make.
Oh, yeah. Money I make, and more women start to enter the workforce more and more and more and
money.
more. And them say we can't abandon this. We're on to something here.
And you see, while them at the top, weave them web, right? At the end of the day, when it trickles down to the mere man and woman, right? The fact that even though it is enriching this big grand scheme where they have a one, this woman now is able to raise her kids on her own, away from an abusive person, and survive in a society as a single woman as well, care for their whole family, them and then something there. So at the end of the day, this benefit the mere man and woman differently than how it benefit the man them at the top.
That's just a byproduct of it. That was not the
yes,
intention.
most definitely.
Let me show you, right? Like, if you really look at it, right? The people them that are in the top 1% of the world does not concern themselves with the menial things we do. For example, they don't worry about race. They don't fight each other based on race. They just do transaction and make money regardless of their race. They don't worry about feminism. The man and the woman just find a way to get along. However, we know they make sure we are busy fighting about race. We are busy fighting about ethnicity, because now people start to split up ethnicity all from the same country, right? Even though they're the same race, they are different ethnic background. People fight about their nationality, and people even fighting about there's a war between